Hello, friends. Most likely, many of us have heard the words, treat others as you want to be treated. It's an excellent rule that always works. It's a boomerang that will come back into time. Melina Salazar works in a small roadside cafe in the provincial town of Brownsville, Texas. She grew up in this place, later graduated from college, and decided to return home. Having started working in this establishment many years ago, she couldn't bring herself to leave. Melina loves her job and the guests who come to have lunch with their families. Every visitor was precious to her, but as usual, among all the guests, there had to be someone who stood out from the crowd. That special customer was a short old man named Watersword. For 16 long years, he visited the cafe every day, Saturday in the same place, and waited for Melina to come to him with the menu. Watersword was not a kind old man, as many might think. On the contrary, all the staff called him a miser. He was constantly dissatisfied with something. The coffee was cold, the omelette was overcooked, or the butter was the wrong color, and it happened every time he visited. Naturally, the waitresses couldn't handle all of Mr. Sword's complaints, so they refused to serve him. Only Melina could calmly endure all the old man's grumbling. Despite his perpetually dissatisfied face, the girl always asked about his health, and the only response she ever heard was rudeness. "Can't you wait? What's it to you? Are you trying to annoy me?" All the establishment's employees claimed that the old man was just unbearable, and no one wanted to serve or even greet him. The girl didn't take offense and even understood that all the grumbling was due to the fact that Water was a lonely person who just needed a little attention. Since the town was small, the girl also knew that the 89-year-old man, a war veteran, had been living alone for a long time without children or a spouse. So, despite his attacks, she always smiled. But one day, Watersword stopped coming to the cafe. Melina started to worry. Is everything okay with the old man? Days passed, but the regular customer did not reappear. The cafe workers only teased. Now someone else would be fraying nerves. But the girl genuinely cared about the old man. Fearing the worst, Melina started looking through the obituaries in the local newspaper and found what she feared. In the obituary section, she read that at the age of 89, Watersword passed away in his sleep at home. As the girl herself said, "I genuinely felt sorry for the old man. Strange as it may sound, despite being grumpy and perpetually dissatisfied, I had grown attached to him, and learning about his death made my soul sad." Perhaps that would have been the end of the story of this strange 16-year relationships between two little-known people, if not for what happened next. The day after Melina learned about the death, Mr. Sword, the miser, made himself known again, and it happened like this. At noon, a new visitor entered the cafe. No one had seen him here before. He was in a formal suit, not a common sight in this cafe. What was interesting is that the stranger didn't intend to order anything. He was looking for Melina Salazar for an important matter. The girl wondered who this person was and why he needed her. For a split second, even negative thoughts crossed her mind. The man began by stating that he was Watersword's lawyer and came here to announce the late man's last will. Of course, Melina couldn't understand what she had to do with it. Then the lawyer asked the girl to sit down and explained that just a few days before his death, the old man called him to his house. After that, he declared that all the money he had accumulated, more than $50,000, his beloved car, which he had forbidden anyone to touch, and his house in the city he bequeathed to the one who had patiently endured him for many years, the only ray of light in his life. It was a kind of gratitude. It turned out that all these long years, Sword had been coming to the cafe just for her. She was the only one who could understand him and calmly endure his grumbling, but he couldn't behave differently. That's just who he was. On the spot, the girl burst into tears. By showing kindness to this old man, she hadn't expected to get anything in return. And this story serves as a reminder that only kindness and love can change cold hearts. It's unknown how Melina will use this inheritance, although she says she has long dreamed of her own little restaurant, and now she definitely won't have any questions about what to name it. Friends, let's just be kinder. And that's it for today. Did you like this story?